William Austin Horne was an Australian mining magnate, pastoralist and state politician who died in London at Christmas 1922. He was furthermore a keen amateur sculptor who carved rocks and pieces of wood on his property at Mount Lofty into figures and faces. This interest in sculpture induced Horne to donate statues to the city of Adelaide, South Australia, to beautify the public gardens. He donated 3 statues, reproductions of classical types: Venus of Canova, the Farnese Hercules, and the Athlete. Over time, all 3 statues suffered the indignity of vandalism and joking, but the Athlete bore the brunt of it. At some point, the statue acquired the alternative name of Discobulus, which should properly be used for a discus thrower and not a runner. However, that is his nickname. The statue was a replica of one unearthed at Herculaneum in 1754 and exhibited in the Naples Museum. The statue stands 4 feet high, with the distance between his arms being 1 foot 9 inches. Given in 1901, he was placed in Brougham Gardens, at the corner of Brougham Road and Baggots Road, opposite the Children's Hospital, in November 1903. The Athlete stood on a pedestal 2 feet 6 inches by 1 foot 9 inches in dimensions. The site where the statue stood marked an old-time landmark known as the White Gate. He often acquired clothing, having old sugar bags draped over his arms. At other times he wore a top hat and was known to have been outfitted in full evening dress. Pipe clay eyeballs had been added more than once. He was first pushed off his pedestal in 1905, and then the statue was severely damaged in 1925. On another occasion, he was adorned with ribbon and was once also daubed with paint. Passers-by were amused to find him wearing a North Adelaide football team jersey one morning. Other minor incidents occurred, but the worst affront took place on the night of the 3rd of June 1928. Somebody wrenched the bronze statue free of its plinth, breaking off 1 foot in the process. The disappearance was noticed, but the statue quickly located in the Torrens River, near the Frome Road Bridge, covered in the slime of that waterway. Police recovered the Athlete and hosed him clean. The City Council posted a £25 reward for information leading to the conviction of the vandals. The culprits were never identified, although suspicion fell upon a group of interstate university students visiting Adelaide at the time. The Athlete was returned to his customary position, with curved bars bolted through the feet, concreted into the pedestal. Yet just over 2 years elapsed before he was rudely removed again in the still of a moonlit night. It was the 11th of July 1930. Council reported its loss, and police investigation revealed the statue had been dragged north across the lawns to the road where a car must have been waiting. The Athlete was recovered at about 6:30 a.m. on Sunday morning, the 13th of July, lying on the footpath at the southern end of Jeffcott Street, North Adelaide, by Constable Fitzgerald while on patrol. It had been dumped by 3 young men late Saturday night, who then drove off in a single-seater automobile. Police learned it had been taken as a prank by some guests at a party in a house near Brougham Gardens. It was planned to return the statue to its pedestal, and several young men were noticed milling about the area, but apparently lacked the nerve to go through with restoring the statue. Repairs took some weeks to complete before the Athlete was back in the gardens. In July 1936, he went missing again and was reported as such. It quickly turned out that the Engineers Department had failed to inform the Gardeners Department that they were taking the statue away for repairs after somebody had tried to twist one of his arms off. On the 28th of November 1938, however, the Athlete was yet again snatched from the gardens and placed on the steps of St. Peter's Cathedral, positioned as if about to run inside the building. Although the statue itself was not damaged this time, a corner of the marble base it stood on was broken off. The miscreant who took the statue was a young professional man who had the idea during a cocktail party, but later had misgivings about stealing the statue and returned it. The latest nocturnal adventure led to some calling him Adelaide's most active statue. After this latest indignity, Moving the statue to a less secluded area was discussed, but after a year in storage it was decided to return him to Brougham Gardens in January 1940, with added precautions to prevent it being yanked off its base. However, this did not eventuate. Instead, Discobulus was repositioned on a column at the Adelaide City swimming pool and baths on King William Road in April 1940, looking down on the swimmers, and held in place with securely tied ropes. Sadly, it was soon considered to look out of place, and by August had been removed to the council depot in Sturt Street for storage. In June 1949, it was still in storage at the depot. A letter was sent to the Advertiser newspaper in July 1949, suggesting that the statue be placed in the foyer of the Art Gallery, which elicited a prickly response from someone at Seacliff, who snapped in print, "It is a disgrace that such a statue should ever be at Adelaide. Who ever heard of an athlete running in his birthday suit? The statue should be placed in the Torrens, where vandals once dumped it." It was not until 1965 the athlete was moved to the Angus Gardens, near University Oval. Further vandalism, however, saw him retreat back to the safety of storage. Finally, the much-abused statue found a new permanent display in the Lord Mayor's courtyard at Adelaide Town Hall in 1992. In this area, inaccessible to the general public, the athlete is safe and unbothered, where his boisterous youth can be consigned to memory in the dark corners of history.